Amazing day to all. This is Teacher Dan Rogayan, and welcome to another episode of our Let Review Drill for our science majorship. This is part of our preparation for our upcoming board exam for professional teachers come March 2025. So before we start, let me share my slide first. All right. So for this episode, we'll be focusing on microbiology and parasitology. So this will be our review drill number 8. Sa mga hindi pa po nakakapanood ng ating mga previous drills, it's available po sa ating YouTube channel. So once again, welcome to our review drill. Samahan ninyo akong muli sa pagsagot ng ilang mga items which are salient items which contain salient concepts no, as part of our preparation for let these March 2025. Always remember our goal to pass and even top the board licensure examination for professional teachers. All right? So, I hope you have your pen and paper with you. Samahan po ninyo ako sa pagsasagot ng ating mga items. So as I mentioned, our review focus will be on biology, particularly the sub-area microbiology and parasitology. In the enhanced table of specifications issued by the Professional Regulation Commission, particularly the BPT, we have two learning outcomes under this sub-area. Number one, demonstrate understanding of disease-causing microorganisms collectively known as microbes, and the other one is to distinguish bacteria, proteins, and viruses and their effects on humans. So we'll be covering these two learning outcomes for our 10-item questions for this episode. All right, I think everybody's ready, so I think we could start now. First question, which of the following organisms are collectively referred to as microbes? A. Plants and animals. B. Bacteria, viruses, fungi, and protists. C. Insects and arachnids. D. Mammals and birds. Okay, so this one is an easy question. Now we're looking at the different examples of microbes, right? So these are, of course, what's your answer? Letter B. So that's bacteria, viruses, fungi, and protists. So we have bacteria. Now remember that in our six kingdom classification, two kingdoms actually belong to bacterial organisms. No? So these are kingdom Archaebacteria and kingdom Eubacteria. So the kingdom Archaebacteria belongs to domain Archaea, while kingdom Eubacteria belongs to domain bacteria. All right, so we have two domains, no, bacterial domains, the domain bacteria and the domain archaea. Under domain bacteria, we have Eubacteria, and under domain archaea is Archaebacteria. For viruses, remember that these can only be replicated with the living host, and the study of virus is virology. That's correct. While fungi, no, fungi are of course eukaryotic organisms. No, this includes the mushrooms, the molds, and the like. And the study of fungi is known as mycology, right? And protists is another eukaryotic organisms. These include the algae, no, some um some other protists like Euglena, no? So yung mga yan, right? So these are eukaryotic organisms. Okay? So these are some microbe group, no? So bacteria are single-cell prokaryotic organisms that can thrive in diverse environments. Some are pathogenic or disease-causing organisms. And remember, there are prokaryotic, no? There are two prokaryotic organisms, the Archaebacteria and the Eubacteria. So example here is of course the E. coli, Escherichia coli, and of course Staphylococcus aureus. Okay? For viruses, there are non-living infectious particles that require a host cell to replicate, no? As I mentioned. Example is the SARS-CoV-2 which causes the COVID-19. So pag tinanong sa board exam, what is the virus responsible for COVID-19? So that's SARS-CoV-2. Now another virus is of course influenza A which causes the flu. Right? So for fungi, as I mentioned, eukaryotic organisms sila that include both single-celled like the yeast and multicellular like the molds and the mushrooms. All right? So we have Candida albicans which causes thrush. Aspergillus species is another type of fungi. Okay? Then lastly, we have protists here, the eukaryotic microorganisms that can be autotrophic or heterotrophic. So they could be either food manufacturing organism or heterotrophic, or those which cannot manufacture their own foods. Or often they live in aquatic environment. So example is of course the Plasmodium falciparum, which are causative agent of malaria. And we have Giardia lamblia, okay, which causes giardiasis, no, which is a intestinal or bowel illness. Okay. So, okay, next question. Which of the following diseases, okay, is caused by bacteria? A. Tuberculosis. B. Malaria. C. COVID-19. D. Athlete's foot. All right. So which of the following, no, is caused by bacteria? Okay. Okay. What's your answer, future top notchers? Okay. So the answer here is, of course, what? Letter? No. It's a bacterial disease. That's correct. That's letter A, tuberculosis, or commonly known as the TB. Okay, so tuberculosis is caused by the bacterium Mycobacterium tuberculosis. So just in case, no, the board exam will ask you what is the species, no, what bacterial species is responsible for TB? That's Mycobacterium tuberculosis. So it primarily affects the lungs, but can also impact other parts of the body. So malaria, on the other hand, is caused by Plasmodium, species like Plasmodium falciparum or Plasmodium vivax, which are protists transmitted through the bite of infected female Anopheles mosquitoes. Remember, for malaria, Anopheles mosquitoes. Pag dengue naman, anong na nga ulit kapag dengue? That's Aedes aegypti. Now, for COVID-19, we mentioned this earlier, caused by the SARS-CoV-2 virus, a type of coronavirus. Remember, SARS means severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus. Okay? So it's a viral disease and not a bacterial disease. And lastly, the athlete's foot is caused by fungi. Okay? So particularly Trichophyton species, no? It is a fungal infection of the skin. Okay? Okay, question number three. Fungi are considered microbes because A, they're always single-celled. B, they lack a nucleus. C, they can cause diseases in humans. Or letter D, they reproduce through binary fission. Okay. Why are they considered microbes? Why are fungi considered microbes? So anong sagot natin dyan, mga future top notchers? So what's the answer? Of course, no? Letter C, they can cause diseases in humans, no? So fungi are also classified as microbes. Okay? So here are some fungal diseases in humans, no? We have here the fungal species, the disease, and some brief description of the disease. So we have Candida albicans, no, which actually causes candidiasis, a fungal infection that can cause oral thrush, vaginal yeast infections, or systemic infections in severe cases. We also have Aspergillus fumigatus, which causes aspergillosis, a respiratory disease that can range from allergic reactions to invasive infections, particularly in immunocompromised individuals. We also have Trichophyton rubrum, that's our common athlete's foot, or Tinea pedis, a fungal infection of the skin, particularly between the toes, causing itching, scaling, and redness. So, yan yung Trichophyton rubrum. While Microsporum canis, ringworm naman to, Tinea corporis, a contagious skin infection characterized by circular, red, and scaly patches. So, parang may mga bilog-bilog, no? Caused by fungi din yan. We also have pneumocystis Jirovecii, no? Itong Pneumocystis jirovecii causes the Pneumocystis pneumonia or the PCP, a severe lung infection that predominantly affects individuals with weakened immune systems, such as those with HIV, AIDS. No? So these are some po of our fungal diseases. All right, number four, microbes that do not cause disease are called blank. A. Pathogens, B. Parasites, C. Commensals, D. Toxins. Okay? So what do you think is the answer? They do not cause disease. We call them the commensals, right? So remember in commensalism, it's a relationship between two organisms where the other one is benefited, no? And the other one is unharmed, okay? So yung unharmed, so that's the host, and the one that is benefited is the commensal. So in this case, the microbes that do not cause diseases are actually commensals. Okay? So pathogens, no, these are microbes that cause disease and their hosts such as bacteria, viruses, fungi, or protozoa. Pathogens, no? Okay? Phato means these are disease-causing agents. Phatos. That's why the study of diseases is pathology. We also parasites, organisms that live in or on an organism, or we call it the host, often causing harm to the host by feeding on its nutrients or damaging its tissues. While the commensals are microbes that live in or on the human body without causing harm and often provide benefits, so such as aiding in digestion or protecting against harmful pathogens. While toxins are poisonous substances produced by certain microbes like bacteria and fungi that can cause diseases. Okay? Right, number five, which of the following is a distinguishing feature of bacteria? A, they have a nucleus. B, they are multicellular organisms. C, they lack membrane-bound organelles. Or letter D, they can only infect plants. So what do you think is a distinguishing characteristics of, or the characteristic feature of a bacteria? Right? Okay, do they have a nucleus? Okay. Meron bang nucleus ang ating bacteria? Wala, no? Only the eukaryotic cell. Since bacteria is a prokaryotic cell, it does not contain a nucleus and membrane-bound organelles. It does not also have membrane-bound organelles, so letter C is the correct answer. So they lack membrane-bound organelles. And typically, there are unicellular organisms. They can only infect plants. No, no. They can also infect, of course, humans and other forms of animals. Okay? So, let's try to compare here the Archaebacteria and Eubacteria. I mentioned in the earlier part of our review that we have two kingdoms for bacteria. Now, the Archaebacteria in terms of cell wall composition, they lack peptidoglycan. They contain polysaccharides and proteins instead, like pseudomurane. Okay? So you bacteria contain peptidoglycan in their cell walls. Okay? For habitat, Archaebacteria are found in extreme environments like the hot spring, the salt lakes, acidic or methane-rich areas. No? So, kapag tinanong sa board exam what type of bacteria are living in extreme environment, these are the archaeans or the Archaebacteria. Whereas, Eubacteria are found in a wide variety of environment, including the soil, the water, and within other organisms. But for Archaebacteria, pwede silang um, methanogens, halophiles, thermophiles kapag naman sobra init, halophiles kapag sobrang salty, etc. Now, for genetic material, DNA has introns and is associated with histone-like proteins similar to eukaryote. While DNA po for the eubacteria lacks introns and is not associated with histone proteins. Now, for the response to antibiotics, Archaebacteria are resistant to many antibiotics that target eubacteria. Okay? While susceptible to antibiotics like penicillin and tetracycline. So, pang mga eubacteria, they are susceptible, no? Antibiotics like penicillin, like the Penicillium notatum, no? Discovered by, who discovered Penicillium notatum again? Alexander Fleming, the father of antibiotics. And how did Fleming discover the penicillin or the Penicillium notatum? That's by serendipity because it's an accidental discovery. Okay? So for reproduction, asexual reproduction through binary fission, budding, or fragmentation. Whereas eubacteria, asexual reproduction primarily through binary fission. Okay, so binary fission, but this one may budding and may fragmentation. So some examples of archaebacteria, we have the Methanobacterium, Halobacterium, and Sulfilobus. Pag nakita sa board exam, Sulfilobus, these naman are thriving in a sulfur-rich environment. Okay? And then for eubacteria, we have the E. coli, Staphylococcus aureus, and cyanobacteria. Okay? So next, number six, the most effective way to prevent viral infection is blank. A, antibiotics. B, vaccination. C, antifungal medications. Or letter D, protein supplements. Okay? How uh, do we most effectively prevent infections caused by virus? Of course, that's vaccination, right? So letter B is the correct answer here. So there are notable scientists here that might appear in your board exam. So let's just have a run through of these notable scientists. Of course, hindi mawawala si Edward Jenner, known as the father of vaccination. He developed the first smallpox vaccine in 1796 using cowpox material. So pag smallpox vaccine, that's Edward Jenner attributed as the father of vaccination. Then Louis Pasteur developed vaccines for rabies and anthrax. So pag tinanong sa board exam, it was as previously in the board, no? Rabies and anthrax vaccine, Louis Pasteur, no? And pioneered the field of germ theory and immunology. Okay? Emil von Behring discovered the diphtheria antitoxin, which laid the foundation for diphtheria vaccination naman. Maurice Hilleman developed over 40 vaccines, including those for measles, mumps, rubella, and hepatitis B. So, sobrang dami, no? So, Maurice Hilleman. Okay? Jonal Salk developed the first effective polio vaccine. So, pag effective polio vaccine, Jonal Salk, no? Inactivated polio vaccine or IPV in 1955. Albert Sabin developed the oral polio vaccine or the OPV, which replaced Salk's IPV for mass immunization. Alexander Glennie developed a technique to detoxify diphtheria toxin, leading to the diphtheria toxoid vaccine naman. While Max Taylor developed the yellow fever vaccine and received the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine in 1951. Okay, so these are some of the notable scientists which have contributed a lot to vaccination development or vaccine development. Okay. And this is the last slide for them. We have the Barack Blumberg discovered the Hepatitis B virus and developed the first Hepatitis B vaccine, earning him a Nobel Prize in 1976. While Katalin Carrico pioneered the mRNA technology, which became the foundation for the Pfizer, BioNTech, and Moderna COVID-19 vaccines. So that led to the awarding of 2023 Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine. So very recent. While Drew Weissman also worked alongside Kathleen Carico in developing modification to mRNA for vaccine, including for COVID-19, and a recipient of the 2023 Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine. Rolf Zinckernagel contributed to immunology research and understanding of T-cell immunity, advancing vaccine development. While Peter Doherty partnered with Zinckernagel to elucidate or to explain how the immune system recognizes the virus infected cells. Ignaz Semmelweis advocated antiseptic hand washing practices, indirectly contributing to safer vaccine administration. So sa kanya naman antiseptic hand washing practices. While Paul Ehrlich developed the concept of magic bullets, precursors to vaccines and advanced immunology significantly. So pag nakita magic bullet, naging precursor to vaccine, that's Paul Ehrlich naman. Alright? Okay, number seven. Which of the following microbes primarily causes food poisoning in humans? So, What's your answer, future top natchers? What is the microbes which primarily, no, causes food poisoning? Okay? So that's correct. That is, of course, bacteria. So yan po ang isasagot natin sa board exam. So fungi, some fungi can produce toxins like Aspergillus species produce aflatoxins in contaminated food, but they're not really the primary, no? Uh, reason, no, for food poisoning, no? Proteins, some protists such as Giardia lamblia and Cryptosporidium can contaminate water and cause gastrointestinal illness naman. While bacteria is the most common cause of food poisoning with species like Salmonella, Escherichia coli, Clostridium perfringens, and Staphylococcus aureus responsible for foodborne illnesses. While viruses, certain viruses such as norovirus and Hepa A can be transmitted through contaminated food and water, but not the most common for causes of food poisoning. Okay? Number eight, which component of bacterial cells plays a critical role in determining the gram staining result? A. Flagella, B. Peptidoglycan layer in the cell wall, C. Ribosomes, D. Endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, so when we talk about gram staining result determination, okay, this particular component, no, plays a very critical role, and that is what your answer, future LPT top notchers. That's correct. Letter B, peptidoglycan layer in the cell wall. Now, the peptidoglycan is a cell wall component for bacteria. Okay, so remember that for gram positive, they have a thick peptidoglycan layer in the cell wall. So, mas makapal po ang peptidoglycan, while for the gram negative is manipis yung kanilang peptidoglycan layer. So, that's how we determine, no, the demarcate demarcation line between the gram positive and the gram negative bacteria. So you can see here the thick peptidoglycan and here the thin peptidoglycan layer. Okay. Number nine, which of the following accurately describes a difference between viral replication and bacterial reproduction? A. Viruses undergo binary fission while bacteria use the host cellular machinery to replicate. B. Viruses hijack host cell for replication while bacteria replicate independently through binary fission. Letter C. Viruses can only replicate in anaerobic environments while bacteria require oxygen. Or letter D. Bacteria lack genetic material for reproduction unlike viruses. Okay? So what is the accurate description, no, of viral replication and bacterial reproduction? Okay, so what's your answer? Future science top natchers, of course. That is letter. What did you answer? Letter B. Viruses hijack host cells for replication while bacteria replicate independently through binary fission. Remember that virus can only replicate with, excuse me, living host cells, while bacteria reproduce through binary fission primarily. Okay? So viruses cannot replicate on their own. They infect a host cell and use it machinery to produce viral components which assemble into new viruses. While bacteria, on the other hand, reproduce independently through binary fission without the need for a host. Okay? So virus versus bacteria. Okay? So let's see some of the notable events, no, in terms of the viral or virus discovery here. So Dmitry Ivanovsky in 1892 was the first who identified the extracts from deceased tobacco plants called could transmit disease, no, even after being filtered to remove bacteria, which suggests the existence of smaller infectious agents, no? While Martinez Beijerinck in 1898 coined the term virus. So pag nakita sa board exam, it was asked before who coined the term virus. That's Martinez Beijerinck, no? And confirmed that the agent causing TMD, no, tobacco mosaic, TMV, tobacco mosaic virus, was filterable and could not be cultivated in bacterial media, indicating it was different from bacteria. While Frederick Twort in 1915 discovered bacteriophages, viruses that infect bacteria, which proves that viruses are distinct biological entities. While Wendell Stanley in 1935 successfully crystallized the TMV, or the tobacco mosaic virus, proving that viruses have a molecular structure, further bridging the gap between living organisms and chemicals. Yan naman si Wendell Stanley. Siya yung crystallize ng ating TMB or tobacco mosaic virus. Okay? All right. Question number 10, our last question. Plasmodium species, the causative agent of malaria, utilize two hosts in their life cycle. What is the significance of the Anopheles mosquito in the cycle? A. It serves as a reservoir host for the parasite. B. It acts as the primary host where asexual reproduction occurs. C. It transmits the parasite but plays no role in its life cycle. Letter D. It is the intermediate host where sexual reproduction of Plasmodium occurs. Okay. So what is the significance of the mosquito Anopheles in the in the cycle? Okay. So what is your answer? Future top natchers? Okay. Okay, of course, the answer is letter D. It is the intermediate host where sexual reproduction of Plasmodium occurs. So, kay Anopheles mosquito, no, that's where sexual reproduction of Plasmodium happens, no? So, the Anopheles is the intermediate host. Plasmodium undergoes sexual reproduction, while humans serve as the primary host where asexual reproduction occurs naman. So, ang asexual sa humans, Homo sapiens, ang sexual reproduction ng Plasmodium, of course, kay Anopheles mosquito, the intermediate host, right? So when a mosquito ingests gametocytes or sexual forms of the parasite from an infected human, fertilization occurs in the mosquito's gut, leading to the formation of sporozoites, which are later transmitted to humans during a bite. That's why Plasmodium, no, species are causative agents, no, for malaria. No? They are, it could be Plasmodium vivax or Plasmodium falciparum. Okay? So I think that's the end of our 10-item drill for this episode for microbiology and parasitology. Again, patuloy tayong maganda laban para sa pangarap, laban papasa tayo, no? Keep fighting and abangan po ninyo, no, ang mga susunod pa nating videos, no, to help you remember the salient concepts in your board exam aligned with the enhanced table of specification issued by the regulatory board for professional teachers. So yeah, so I think that's all for this episode till our next video. Maraming salamat po, and please don't forget, no, to comment your scores, no, ilan po yung nakuha natin for this episode. Right, bye bye.